Buckeye Talk back at Ohio State football practice, standing in the drizzle. I'm Nathan Baird. He's Stephen Means from cleveland.com. We talked to Larry Johnson and the defensive linemen today. Got some intel from them just as far as how their camp is going. One of the big developments is going to be what happens at tackle. We know Haskell Garrett is coming back. We know there's some candidates there that are solid guys, whether it's Tron Vincent, whether it's Antoine Jackson, whether it's Jerron Cage. I think it's just a matter of who sort of steps up and kind of helps fill the big shoes of Tommy Togiai. What were you hearing from talking to those guys today?
Yeah, I think what we all know is Larry Johnson likes to play with depth. In 2019, when it was fully healthy, he had 3 deep at both spots. And then last year, it was pretty much the Tommy Togiai, Haskell Garrett show. There's a chance that might happen again this year where you've got Haskell Garrett and Teron Vincent playing the majority of the snaps while you're sprinkling in Jerron Cage and Antoine Jackson. But the idea is maybe you get back to that depth, and Larry felt like they were on that way towards that territory. I asked him and I asked a couple other guys about Ty Hamilton. He continues to show some development that he had shown last year, even given the circumstances. So that's the plan. They have enough guys to be able to do it. Noah Potter obviously has moved on to the inside too, which we've seen before. Defensive ends come here and then eventually move into 3-tech. So there's an opportunity for them to maybe be 6 deep, 3 deep at each spots, but it's still a long way to go to get there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year the coronavirus pandemic and COVID and everything really thwarted their chance to have that kind of depth. You know, Togiai sort of stepped up and became this presence, but then, you know, all along that defensive line last year, whether it was Tyreek Smith, whether it was Togiai himself, you had guys missing crucial games because of positive tests and things like that, and it sort of scrambled their chances to do that. I'm really intrigued by the Teron Vincent thing inside. I talked to him a little bit today. If he could step up and be that second guy, if we think he has like all the talent in the world. I think he said something today about like, I was the #1 defensive tackle in the country for a reason coming out of high school, but he hasn't really had a chance to show that, you could argue, just because the injuries are there. The thing I was struck by today, and we haven't had that many chances to really talk to him over the last couple of years, his like attitude is really positive. I think some of that probably comes from his dad, a longtime NFL guy, Troy Vincent, who has probably helped him, like, you know, hey, I've seen guys go through these injuries before. Just be patient. You'll keep working at it, and you'll get your chance. And that chance is here. He has that opportunity to potentially step up and do something this season. Obviously, a lot of questions today for Larry Johnson and for everybody else here about Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. JT Tuimoloau was one of the players who was shown as being one of the champions from Saturday's scrimmage. They were showing that here on the video board. I already texted that out, the list of guys to our texters, 614-350-3315 if you haven't signed up. I'm sure you were hearing a lot of those questions too, and we're getting just a lot of what you're hearing about both those guys, but especially Tuimoloau, who they've only gotten to know here in the last couple of weeks, is just how dedicated he is, kind of how intelligent he is, how studious he's already been as far as just like learning things and trying to pick it up.
Yeah, I tried to ask as many veterans as possible. I think I prefaced the question of JT's been here for 30 days and yet he's already lost his black stripe. How does that even happen? Because there's a player element to that where, as Jamison Williams was telling us back in the spring with Marvin Harrison, they kind of egg that on for coaches to even think about that. And one of the things Zach Harrison said was he's very mature for his age. He's a bookworm. He's in the film room. He doesn't act like a freshman, even though he clearly is a freshman. He has moments as a freshman out on the field, obviously, because it's a flashing thing when you're a 5-star, but he doesn't show it when they're in the classroom learning. And you put all that together along with the talent that he is, I think we're heading into a territory where we might have to tweak what our expectations are. I think we've all been in agreement that Jack Sawyer is going to play early, while JT maybe gets a little bit more eased into it. Maybe he's not eased into it if he's attacking it like this.
Yeah, neither of them get talked about like freshmen, and neither of them look like freshmen, certainly, if you've ever seen them walking around, and you'll see them playing for Ohio State here in just a couple weeks on September 2nd. Again, sign up for the text, 614-350-3315. You get a 2-week free trial. That'll take you pretty much all the way up to the season opener with the news updates and the analysis and everything else that we're sending you here from Buckeye Talk.